having to spend more than $5 to that. Fix it, so that they have that flexibility to spend in the funds, not having to question.
This is specific only to ARPA funds?
It's federal fund, it's
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Title sufficient do pass at the proper time, ma'am.
He just said it.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry.
All in favor?
Aye.
Never mind. Didn't we take care of this as far as state money 5 years ago?
Yeah, so we had a bill last year. That we had.
During their
Yeah.
the last and the
Right.
start.
Okay.
Okay.
There was a bill last year, I'm fresh in my mind, and it's very similar, but it's only to how it is. Now, I want to go to Senate Bill 2392. I would like to, ask Senator McConnell to explain the bill, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. There is a committee sub in there, so please note that's in there. This is double referred back to Judiciary A. This is the, we've got a very few minutes, but this is the final product of 2 different hearings across the last 6 months on trying to do something to assist counties with garbage fees. I don't have my information with me. It's at my desk. If you want to see how much is still due in your county, but the last data that I had was right at garbage fees across our state. $1 million in a county is a lot of money. So what we want to do is try to do something to try to assist them with that. This bill right here is going to provide, number one, that there shall be a quarterly updated listing of what garbage, what bills are outstanding or delinquent at that point. So that's the first thing it's going to do is make it a quarterly indexing of what the delinquent charges are. Number two, when a bill that has been noted as delinquent, put in the indexing, and the indexing is so that a title attorney that comes in there can actually see that there is a delinquent tax bill out there. The second thing it's going to do is that when that bill is $500, and it's been delinquent for those 3 years, which is going to take about 3 years to hit $500, and they can actually make it a special assessment that goes on with the tax bill, and it's due and payable with that tax bill. If they fail to pay it, just like any other special assessment from the county, they can sell it and recoup the funds through that tax sale to try to get that money back to the county. A person that did not generate the garbage or own the property furnished the service at the time that the garbage was generated will not be considered delinquent for any fees under this. It's trying to clear up the generator versus the owner. And then if you go to lines 115, you'll see there's a little bit of a paragraph there. Now that paragraph right there could get misconstrued. It has in the past. But what I want you to understand what it is and what it says is that any garbage lien that was imposed after January 1st, 2018 and complies with this shall be filed in that registry. And if you don't get it filed within that time period, then it's not considered a lien on real property. It is not forgiven. It is not going away. It is still collectible by the county. But the deal is we've got to get a registry in every county and be sure that we get those things filed so that we can get the title attorneys, especially who are out there running these title searches, to note that they're out there and try to help collect on those for us. So that's what that sets it up. And it says basically that if you don't get it filed in that time period, then it's not going to be a real property lien. It'll still be a personal lien. This does not take away the tag, the ability to hold the tags. It doesn't take the ability to file for a civil judgment or anything like that. It just provides one more mechanism for a county. And I believe we've got representatives from Chancery. I know Circuit Smith are here, tax assessors, board of supervisors, third party who have gone through and helped and are contracted. But this is only for the counties now. This doesn't, if the county goes and hires a third party to help with collection of that, that's up to them. But they still are required to get it filed as soon as possible before that 20. So I'll entertain questions right now. So,
Sorry, I know we're and you may have mentioned this. Thank you, Madam Chair.
We still
Thank
have
you,
time.
Is there a mechanism or is there a law preventing us from stopping the service? I mean, if people get to a certain point, can the deliverer not stop?
yes, we can't stop the rubbish collection as a county.
Okay, so that's what it is.
That's health and safety on that.
One more question. The lien being sold at a tax sale, is there an asset against it which is levied? And you may have answered that, but I mean,
But a tax sale, traditional tax sale process would allow someone who bought it, they collected 1% a month, there's the penalties, they've got to send out the notices, serve the people. So there's all the protections of a regular tax sale, but there's no, once it goes to that tax sale, then of course we've collected our funds and we're not going to continue from that.
but I'm thinking of the purchaser of that. With a tax sale, you've got a process, but you potentially have real estate at the end of that if you don't recoup. This, there is no real estate at the end, correct?
It's going on your tax sale. I mean, so your tax sale is just going to be, it's going to be a special assessment on your tax.
Oh, so
So
it's,
you owe $1,000 and now they've gone, assessed it on there. You owe now 1,500 because you're billing for 500.
so to satisfy my lien, I have to pay the property tax as well as this now. So
That's
it's both and not either. Okay, I didn't understand. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Would there be any other questions? Yes,
The assessment that, when I'm trying to follow up on his question. At a tax sale, there is an asset, there's a piece of property there. Would it not be more prudent to require the counties to actually put the garbage collection fee into their ad valorem?
I think that's going to be a discussion for another year. Right now, we're just trying to help clean up the previous bills that are out there, get them their mechanism. I don't think that's the discussion we want to have just yet. And we worked through, like I said, every association came in here and sat down and we worked through the language to try to get to this point that everybody was on board with.
and also I want to mention that the statute that allows the counties to institute the countywide garbage pickup, every county has not done that. There's some that don't have it, like Pearl River does not have it. There's just independent garbage pickup there. Marion County does have it. So it would actually help Marion County collect these things. And one thing that I might note, my county is a lot nastier than Marion County because we don't have it. There's trash everywhere in my county. So I can see the benefit of them doing this. And I think that and he said they're only going back to 2018.
As far as making it a lien.
Yeah,
real-
you can still collect it, but just as far as, delinquency and making it a lien, it would only go back to 2018.
That's right.
Hey.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Thank
Melanie.
you,
Yes.
Madam Chair.
Senator Sojourner.
Senator Kaufman, I guess if there's a county in the state that is an example of a disastrous garbage situation, it's Adams County. And primarily it's due to failed leadership and contracting issues, but we've had a train wreck down there for a while. As a matter of fact, when we had garbage stacking up in places earlier this month, we are mandated $15 a month. And you don't ever know when garbage is running or if it's running or what's going to happen. So it's been a really sore subject in our area with our constituents because we as taxpayers have no accountability. But yet the money is automatically. And, a couple of years ago, because it personally happened to me, they were already like, oh, well, you can't get your tag. You got to go pay your garbage bill. How about y'all pick my garbage up? So I mean, and I don't know what teeth are in this as opposed to what Adams has tried to do already with some of that. But it does give me some heartburn when we start taking actions, and I understand, and you're right. I mean, there's a lot of money owed in Adams County. And we actually have a rubbish facility that my farm wraps around, and it's a train wreck. Because of the garbage everywhere around it. So I have some heartburn because we're trying to, make them accountable. What about the accountability to our side as well? I know there's no answers or solutions to that. I'm just going to have to give it some consideration.
And
But I
Senator,
do appreciate what you're attempting.
Senator Sojourner, I went to the Judd A hearing and I also brought up that concern, and I used the garbage collection in Jackson as an example and the water bills in Jackson as an example. So I know there's issues there. And we're not pretending that they're not. So I think, everybody has their right to vote how they want to vote. If it's going to really help some counties and it may not help others. So, I think we just have to decide, whether or not we're going to move forward with trying to do something more.
But thank you.
And I
Yeah.
Madam Chair, I would say that, of course, Board of Supervisors, is your contracting authority. They should be on board for that to actually do it. And I know that's probably a sore subject too there, Senator. So I
And
would
it,
welcome-
that.
I would
Yeah.
welcome looking at that again in the future.
And
I
maybe-
really hope that we can get this through because this is a 3-year process we've been working on to try to clean this part up.
And my thoughts are honestly, when you get to that point to where maybe Adams County and Hines County or City of Jackson are, it may take some litigation against either the board or against whomever has the garbage contract to try to get any of that cleared up. And that's just kind of where I am at on it. So, if there's no questions, are y'all ready to vote on this one? Senator, wait, hang on, Senator Jordan, you ready?
All
Okay,
right.
you ready to vote? Or you, okay,
And committee sub. for sure.
yeah, this is a committee sub, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that committee sub will pass. We have one more bill that's just a code section to bring forward, and I think I'll just explain it real quick and see how y'all feel about that. I know last year we passed some legislation that required counties that had not had permits before to have building permits, and for some folks who work on homes to have license that have not had license before. And we had a lot of, issues trying to get this resolved and people to get their license through the Board of Contractors. And what this other bill does, 2612, quite a number of senators and House members have filed this. What I want to do with this, and it's strictly up to the committee, is just bring forth this code section and let's look at the conversation as to how we might alleviate some of the problems that were created by that bill and some of the issues that these contractors and some of these counties have had with this. And that's, it may not go anywhere, it may die. I just wanted to try to bring something forward so that we could have the conversation with those areas that have been affected.
Madam Chair, is there some change in here?
No, there is no change. It's the exact language. It's in code. We're just bringing it forward for possible,
Bring the
bring-
actual statute.
just bringing the actual statute forward that was passed last year for potential amendment as we go down the line. And I would probably like for someone to make an amendment to put a reverse repealer in this thing so that we can have plenty of time. Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Y'all ready to vote? Title sufficient do pass committee sub. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Rise and report. Thank y'all so much.
Very good.
It was going with you, wasn't it?